Hello and welcome to Miss Charlotte Astrology. My name is Miss Charlotte. I'm a full-time working astrologer, and on this channel I analyze the astrological charts of public figures. And very often they are celebrities, and that kind of will be the case today, as this Synastry chart, the two people that I'll be focusing on for this Synastry chart, one half of them is famous, and the other half of this couple is just a regular schmegular guy. So of course I'll be talking about the wonderful, iconic Lana Del Rey, one of the artists of our generation, and her new husband, Jeremy, who is from a humble background. From what I understand, he is an alligator tour guide, swamp tour guide, I think in Louisiana. I've been on one of those swamp tours. They're fantastic. So he's built a business and he's done very well. Apparently he's a very hardworking man. He's very masculine. I looked at his placements. She's super feminine. She's got a lot of Cancer. She's got a lot of water, and she's got a little bit of fire and some earth. And he's got heavy air and heavy fire placements. He does have a bit of water as well, but he's an Aries, like I looked at this Synastry chart and I was like, ooh, like he's got some balls. he's got a big pair of gonads, like he is a very hyper masculine kind of guy, a very hardworking guy. He gets his hands dirty. He loves dangerous work, and there's something very Indiana Jones about him, which certainly is appealing for a ninth houser like Lana, because Lana's like a ninth houser. Her ninth house cusp is in Cancer, so all these Cancer placements play into that, and she really is looking for someone who can take her on that magic carpet ride. She's a Cancer, but she's a very Sagittarian Cancer, so getting with a guy that's very outdoorsy and very hardworking and very hyper masculine works. And I think with a couple, and I speak from personal experience here because I'm an Aries myself and I'm terribly attracted to Cancer guys, it's nicer when in a straight couple, a man and a woman, the woman has the feminine sun sign and the man has the masculine sun sign. Like, that tends to be a bit more favorable. I mean, there's always it's not a rule, it's not a hard and fast rule. It just tends to be a bit easier. Uh, it's an interesting Synastry chart. So before I dive in, I just want you guys to know I have opened some dates in December. I think they're almost full. There are dates in December, so if you'd like to book a reading with me, you want to, come on the Zoom and talk to me about your chart, and we can dig through it. You can book that for December. If there are no more spaces in December, I do have a couple of weeks in January. So, yeah, you can meet me in person. We can talk about your chart. If you enjoy what I do here, get yourself a birthday Christmas present. It's a birthday present if you're a Sagittarius or a Capricorn, or it's a Christmas present if you celebrate Christmas. But anyway, if you want to get a reading, those are the dates, December and January. Okay. Oh, and I do MP3 readings where you don't have to meet me at all, because some of you have social anxiety. I do 15-minute MP3s, which are like transit readings, general chart readings, and synastries. And then I do 5-minute focused readings, which is for a specific thing in your chart or a specific issue. Okay. It's a great way to support me. Thank you so much. And yeah, that's the message from our sponsor, me. Okay, so let's have a look at this Synastry chart. So as you can see, Lana is a Sun, Mars, and Mercury in Cancer. She's got a Moon in Leo and a Venus in Taurus, and then she's got a Scorpio rising. Jeremy is a Sun, Jupiter conjunction. He's an Aries Sun. He's got a Venus in Taurus as well, a Mercury in Pisces, a Mars in Aquarius. Oh my gosh, I have so much in common with this dude. He's 3 of my placements. And my Mars is almost in Aquarius, but yeah, he's got, oh my gosh. I understand. I get why she likes him though. And he has a Moon in Cancer. Very sweet. He reminds me a little bit like Heath Ledger. And Heath Ledger was an Aries with a Cancer Moon. Super sweet. Super sweet. Okay, so where sex and spirit meet. So you see this heavy conjunction here, okay? So by the way, Jeremy's the red planets, Lana's the inner circle blue planets, okay? So Lana has a Sun, Mars, and Mercury all in Cancer. He's got a Moon in Cancer with Saturn. So already I can see that I think they have good communication, and I think it's because I don't want to, he's intelligent in his own way, okay? But she's an intellectual, right? Because she's a ninth house Mercury, you know, she's a storyteller, and she's very articulate. And having this moon and Mercury conjunction is it's a nice aspect in synastry. It's a nice friendship aspect. The moon person, remember, moon represents emotions and emotional processing. And he has that in Cancer, which is hard if straight men with Cancer placements, they struggle with their feelings because it's not in this world currently, especially in the past, it's not okay for men to express their feelings. And being with Lana is going to allow that. She can probably articulate what he feels. This is a nice, almost psychic connection where her mind and his soul meet up, or her mind and his emotions, his processing, his like inner workings. She can give voice to that, literally give voice to that. She can articulate the thing that he can't. She can articulate the things that he feels. This is a very nice synastry. This is very, very cute. And also her Mars, and Mars represents sex, right? Sex, passion, a lot of things. And that's on his moon as well. So having sex with her, like, probably like opened him up spiritually and emotionally as well. Like, the sex was good. And then of course there's the Sun Moon conjunction. You know, when it comes to in a synastry, I won't call it a conjunction, but they are in the same sign. The sun person feels like they can shine. She feels like she can be creative and just like, like she feels like she can be loud and proud about her creativity, about her processes as a creative person, because the sun is your creative, it's your ego, right? So it's your outer expression. She can express herself creatively as much as she likes. And because his moon is in that same sign, he's going to accept her. She feels accepted by him. Right? And he feels seen by her because the sun shines on the moon and it lights up, right? So this is really beautiful. I do think though the Saturn with the moon, he could be quite rigid. I think hopefully he's because he's over the age of 43, so he's emotionally fully developed. He's as developed as he's ever gonna get. He's evolved as he's ever gonna get at 43. Because that's when men mature, apparently. Moon Saturn conjunctions in men, I have noticed, Piers Morgan, they can be very emotionally mature, and it takes a long time for them to become mature emotionally, like in their interpersonal relationships, because the moon is an interpersonal planet, right? So slow to mature. It took him a long time to settle down. I think he's been married before, but he was engaged to a girl for a really, really long time just before he got with Lana. So that's a bit of a red flag. It's not a biggest red flag. It's just something to note that it's taken him a while to mature. And having Saturn sitting on her placement, Saturn sitting on the Mars, Saturn sitting on the Sun and the Mercury, being with him she's going to have to be very careful. She's going to have to be very private. This is not as bad as, say, the synastry between Taylor Swift and Joe Alwyn, because Joe's Saturn, from memory, sat on her Venus and it restricted her. Like, she really suffocated her. Aquarius is an extroverted sign, so that's why that was more painful. That was a more painful Saturn personal planet conjunction. This Cancer doesn't mind a boundary. Cancer doesn't mind being grounded. It doesn't mind being private. So this is a little bit easier compared to that other synastry I just mentioned. But it is restrictive, you know, like, she's being with him, she's not going to have the same kind of freedom as she did when she didn't know him. But that said, maybe it will afford her some anonymity, which she craves. So yeah, it's interesting. I think for him, it's going to make him maybe on his end a bit more uncomfortable because he's going to be perceived by the public. So hopefully he just doesn't give a shit. But that can be incredibly painful because it's like, oh fuck, everybody knows my business now. People are digging into my past. Because of her, there's a spotlight on him and his previous relationship. So we'll see what happens. But generally, I like this synastry. I do. And I like that she's a moon in Leo and he has an Aries sun. It's a nice balance as well with the masculine elements and the feminine elements, like the water and the fire. I think there's a nice understanding here. I would love to have his rising sign because it would help me a lot with this. Jeremy, if you're listening, it's cute. This is all very cute. Okay. Let's move down. An alignment of values. So when people say, oh, an Aries and a Cancer can't get together. Yes, they can if their Venuses complement each other, because a Cancer can have a Taurus Venus and an Aries can have a Taurus Venus. Sun signs are just egos, right? You can have an ego clash, and sometimes that's really healthy, right? Sometimes an Aries needs to be told, stop, you know? That's why I'm so attracted to Cancers myself, because anyway, shut up, Charlotte. Can you tell a Cancer broke my heart? Oh, Aries and Cancers are very attracted to each other. I think Aries and Capricorns are also attracted to each other. It's just like that someone who's not afraid of you. It's kind of hot. So here we have an alignment of values. So they both have a Venus and Taurus. I think they're both people that even if they live very alternative, very different lifestyles in terms of their love life, in terms of their romantic love life, what they value is something traditional. Actually, yeah, something traditional, even though, you know, Lana has had this very crazy kind of life and she's this big time artist, she's famous. She wants a love life. She wants to find security, like her North Node with her Venus. And that's a lot like Taylor Swift, because Taylor Swift's got her North Node with Venus. It's an Aquarius, it's hella unstable. She's gotten a stable sign. North Node in Taurus is about security. Financial, yes. Material, yes. But when it's with Venus, and Venus does rule Taurus, it's all about finding both that material stability and stability within a partnership where you share. Like there's this seventh house, like negotiation and sharing. And it's very practical. It's very romantic, but it's also very practical. It's like she has to learn how to share her heart, share her life with another person. Right? So this is quite beautiful. She's on this quest for love. That's what she's been looking for this whole time. You know, on this, you know, through this very up and down journey through fame, navigating the rough waters of fame. She was searching for that, you know, golden treasure chest, which is this Venus, this Taurus Venus. Like, I'm trying to find my heart. I'm trying to find my love. And she found it. Right. So he has his Venus in Taurus. It's not sitting on that North Node, but the fact that he's got a Venus in the same sign as her descendant is a really nice synastry as well, because your seventh house is what you're not. If your rising sign is how you present yourself to the world, right? It's like your shield, your sword, your armor, how you present yourself. It's your face, right? The seventh house is what you're not. Even if you've got planets in there, it's what you're looking for in other people. And I think the problem with her, because she's got what I've got, Venus on the descendant, your lovers can turn to enemies. Your lovers and your friends can turn to enemies. She's been heartbroken and betrayed a lot. Seventh houses get heartbroken and betrayed a lot. They give their heart. She literally gives her heart, Venus in the seventh. Here's my heart. And people have pulverized it. But she keeps doing it because she knows it's her mission. It's her North Node. Having his Venus here is very helpful. He understands that. He understands that she wants to have potentially a family, because Venus is a very traditional sign. Venus and Taurus people, not all the time, but very often they want to have a family in some capacities, in some way. And I think he's willing to give that to her. They both want stability in a relationship. They materially, romantically, emotionally, all those things. So this is really nice. And he's got Juno as well. And Juno is the asteroid of marriage. Literally, because she's got a Taurus placement, she embodies the wife in his eyes. The problem I have here is with Lilith. Lilith is a bit destructive. She's had a very destructive love life over the years. Like, she's got with Harvey Weinstein, for fuck's sake. Like, she's been attracted, and Venus and Taurus women are very attracted to power and money. I think he's got a different kind of power. He doesn't have as much money as her, but obviously he does very well. He's quite financially secure because he runs this business. But she is attracted to powerful, older, secure people. I mean, I don't really want to describe Harvey Weinstein as secure, but confident, you know, like it's like very masculine energy. She's looking for that security. Yeah, but she found a powerful dude. Just not in the film industry or the music industry, which is great. So yeah, this is quite nice. That Lilith is destructive though. Falling in love with like married men, that's happened before. You know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Lilith is okay with feminine energy. But usually when I see a sun, or a sun or Mars conjunction in a Synastry chart with Lilith, I'm like, ooh, this person could destroy you. You could destroy each other. But this is feminine planet, so maybe it won't manifest that badly. If anything, I don't want to say that he's going to destroy her, but I think the fact that she got married, she's put a lot on the line for this. And that, like, it could destroy her. I mean, she's a Scorpio rising, she'd get through it, but marrying this dude, she's really put herself in a position where she could be destroyed. And that's what Lilith is. She's a self-destructive woman. So, yeah. A fun time forever. Oh, his sun is in her 5th house, so they have a lot of fun together. That's fun. Anyone who has placements in your 5th house, they're going to they're going to bring joy to you. And look, they even met doing the most 5th house things like leisure, pleasure. They met while, like, look at this picture of them together. They met while she was on, touring around Louisiana. So that makes a lot of sense here. He's got a sun Jupiter conjunction, so he's very popular. He's very generous. People like him. He's very charismatic. I don't want to necessarily say he's loud, but he has a big presence. So people enjoy him. And he's got a Mercury in Pisces here with Lilith. And Pallas Athena. He likes dangerous activities. He likes dangerous activities in water. That's Pisces. I'm not surprised. He's a bit of a, I think I use this analogy before, like an Indiana Jones type. Like, he's an explorer, he's an adventurer, he loves dangerous work. I would love to have his rising sign. The fact that he's got this here, like, if he had a Pisces midheaven, that would be perfect. That would be perfect for this interpretation, but we just don't know. But I can see his attraction to dangerous things, like an intellectual. He's got an intellectual curiosity for, like, he's intellectually curious with around dangerous topics, dangerous things, dangerous activities, and working in the water in a swamp with animals that could kill you. He probably finds that exciting and fascinating, and yeah. But I'd love to know where these placements are in his chart. I think having that at the base of her chart as well, him having placements in her 4th and 5th house, he feels like family. He feels like home. If you're really stuck on someone, and very often I read people's charts, they're so stuck on a dude. It's always because usually women that book me, they're so stuck on a dude. It's often because they have placements in the 4th house. Because if someone has placements in your 4th house, you feel like they ground you into your chart. Even if they are toxic, they ground you into your chart, for better or for worse, He's got his Lilith in her 4th house, so him being, if he does dangerous things on the regular, that's going to upset her. That's what I'll say here. If he does dangerous things regularly, puts himself in dangerous positions, that's going to be that's distressing. It's very, because having Lilith in someone's 4th house is, it's upsetting. Yeah, if he's reckless. So, like I said before, he takes a long time to mature. So, dominating domestic territory. So her IC falls in Aquarius, and she's got Jupiter here. So that just, she grew up wealthy, like I don't think her family was the most stable, but and her Jupiter is retrograde, so disappointing boyfriends, husbands, disappointing long-term partners. She's had that. This is her first marriage, but she's had a lot of disappointing boyfriends and husband figures in her life. But she came from a pretty loving family. Generally, Jupiter in the same sign as the IC is very good for a happy, loving family or a wealthy family. Her moon is at the top of the chart, so I don't think she felt, for some reason, she didn't feel very connected to her family as much as she loved them. because when you see a moon in the top of the chart, there's a bit of a disconnection there. But I think generally Jupiter in the same sign as the IC is a very loving and or wealthy family. It's very abundant. It is retrograde, so there's some fuck shit. He has Mars here. So this is the thing, and maybe she's okay with it because she's a very feminine person and he's a very masculine person. So it's the yin and the yang work. But he dominates that 4th house. So even if her career is very dominating and it's, you know, it's very bright and it's shiny and it's hot and it's difficult to deal with, that's where she dominates. She dominates in that field as a public figure in her work. She probably earns more money than him. Definitely she earns more money than him. In the domestic sphere, he dominates. He's got Mars here. Mars is the planet of war and sex and masculinity, and he is in Aries, and that is ruled by Mars. So his sun is in a masculine sign, his Mars is in a hypermasculine sign. They're all at the bottom of her chart. He's going to be dominating the domestic space, and I think she might like that to a certain extent. I think because she's so feminine, very Taurus, very Cancer, she would like someone to take the wheel. You know, she'd like someone to dominate a little bit because she is so powerful. That's what powerful people want ultimately. They've got a bit of a humiliation kick. Not that I'm saying she deserves to be humiliated, not at all. But when someone is so powerful, when they go home, they want someone else to take that away from them. You know, just take that off my plate. Like, tell me what to do. But having Mars in someone's 4th house or playing out in someone's 4th house, maybe she likes it. I mean, Mars is, I don't want to, because he probably is a lovely person, but this is a planet of violence, right? So if it plays out in a really negative, dark way, this could get very dark, and Jupiter expands that energy. So keep that in mind. He got the husbandy, though, because Jupiter's the husband, Mars is the phallus. He got the husbandy. Invested there, sacred protection. So I feel like if they have a house together, which I'm sure they do, they might have like a couple of gigantic Dobermans that guard the property. Like, it's a safe haven. Like, I'm going to make sure this house is safe for you. And she probably enjoys that. He makes her feel safe and he dominates. Okay. Releasing control and finding God. Okay, so here's the thing. This guy was born in the mid-70s. They're about 10 years apart. He was born like 74, 75. It's not a big age difference. But this generation are going through something. I see a lot of the clients I have that are born in the 70s. If you think of, say, Selma Blair and Christina Applegate, they both have, I think it's MS or ALS or something. And I've seen a few other people that of that age group with this North Node with Neptune that are going through either health issues, a spiritual crisis. Like, it's a tough window of time to be born in, of that generation, to be a Gen Xer. I don't know where this plays out in his chart, but it is playing out in her 2nd house of finances. She's always going to be rich. She has part of fortune here, Neptune. I think money comes and goes for her, but she's quite generally like very good financially. She's great. But his placement here, if he needs to be taken care of at some point, she will pay for that. She will probably, I don't want to say she's going to lose money. She will spend a lot of money to save him, to take care of him. He is a little bit older than her. I see her saving him. I see him having a spiritual crisis or a health crisis, and a health crisis is a spiritual crisis. I see her saving him. I see her at least making a great effort to make sure he's comfortable and safe, which is quite beautiful. So that is there. I would love to know where it is in his chart. It would give me more information, but that's what I'm seeing here. Alienating associate. So here's the thing. He's not the best for her image. His Pluto sits in her 11th house. Pluto is the planet of transformation, death, and all sorts of fuck shit. If someone has a malefic planet playing out in one of your public houses, there's going to be either some disgrace. I don't want to say he's disgracing her, but people have been side-eyeing him. People have been looking at him going like, what the fuck is she doing with him? Like, he's not hot. I think he's a very sexy man. I just think he's just a regular, normal, non-famous person. I think he's quite attractive, but generally people are like, why isn't she dating some hot, handsome movie star? Blah, blah, blah. Like, why is she with him? there is an element of disgrace or disapproval. The public disapproves. Like having Pluto in the 11th, it's disapproving. I actually think it kind of adds to her mystique though, being with someone that isn't famous. It adds to her mystique and allows her to shine. But yeah, Pluto in the 11th, it's the public are not going to respond well with this. But who gives a fuck? She's a Scorpio, right? She didn't give a fuck. She doesn't care. This is not the worst placement because she is a Scorpio rising. Pluto and Mars govern her whole chart. So having, the planet that governs her chart in this, in this synastry with his Pluto in her 11th house, it doesn't, even though it brings on disgrace, it also increases her mystique. It does both of those things. It's not that bad. Yeah, but it's alienating for sure. Okay. And this is their whole chart again. I'm just going to take one look around. She's always going to need art. She's always going to need it. Her moon is in the same sign as her midheaven. If he ever says to her, you can't make art, you can't be famous, if he wants to pull a Joe Alwyn and suggest that she has to somehow give up her career, she's never going to do that. That would probably be the thing that breaks them. She does have an opposition here. Her moon is opposite his Mars, which indicates like her emotional, how she nurtures herself emotionally is through art and through her work, because her moon is at the top of the chart. If he wants to get really domineering in their domestic space and he wants to instruct her to give up her poetry and her singing and her touring and her, right? If he does that, it's not going to end. Their relationship will not last. That's the thing with oppositions. They can't cooperate. His Mars is opposite her moon. His ability to dominate and control, and the area of the life in their life together where he can dominate, that's fine. But if he tells her that she can't have a career, they're not going to have a home. Because she needs to work. She needs to. She's an artist. So hopefully he doesn't do that. Hopefully he understands, which I'm sure he does, which I'm hoping for anyway. There's a lot of squares to his sun. I know their sun and moon aren't exactly trining, but they're in trine signs, which is great. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of push and pull here. I think there needs to be a lot of negotiation. I really pray that this is it for her and for him. In a lot of ways, they make a really lovely couple, but I do see some clashes here. I do see some restrictions, and hopefully she's willing to work with that. And hopefully he's willing to work with that, be open to the fact that he's with a famous person and she belongs to the world and she loves that and she knows that and he should know that too. Okay, guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much. Remember, I've got my readings. I've got openings in December and January. Please book them. They fill up quite quickly. Okay, thank you so much and I'll see you later. Bye.